This is the true story of Samuel Little, the shadow in the Cadillac. Imagine you're at a roadside diner or a quiet bus station in the 1970s. You see a man, broad-shouldered, a former boxer with powerful hands. He's charming in a rough way, driving a big beat-up car. He tells you he's just passing through. That was Samuel Little. Between 1970 and 2005, he crisscrossed the United States, leaving a trail of bodies from Florida to California. But here's the chilling part. For decades, almost nobody knew he was a serial killer. Why was he invisible? Little was a predator who understood the flaws in our society. He didn't target the wealthy or the famous. He targeted women on the margins of society, those struggling with addiction or homelessness, people whose disappearances might be dismissed by the police at the time. Because he often strangled his victims, there were no bullet casings and no knife marks. In many cases, coroners missing. The subtle signs of foul play ruled the deaths, accidental or due to natural causes. Little wasn't just hiding from the law. He was exploiting the fact that the law wasn't looking. The artist's memory. The story takes a turn in 2012. Little was finally caught in a homeless shelter in Kentucky and extradited to California for a cold case murder. But even then, the authorities only knew about a few victims. Then, a Texas Ranger named James Holland began to talk to him. Little, nearing the end of his life and facing several life sentences, decided to open the floodgates. He didn't just confess in words. He started to draw. Little had a photographic memory. From his prison cell, he produced dozens of haunting, hand-drawn portraits of his victims. He remembered the color of their dresses, the shape of their earrings, and the specific curve of their smiles from 30 years prior. The scale of the horror. By the time of his death in 2020, the numbers were staggering. 93 confessions. He claimed to have killed nearly 100 people. 60 plus confirmed. The FBI has been able to verify over 60 of these cases, making him the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. The moral of the night. As the fire dies down, remember that the boogeyman doesn't always look like a monster. Samuel Little was a man who spent his life in the gaps of the system. He was a reminder that every life has a story, and when we stop paying attention to the most vulnerable among us, the shadows grow a little longer. The FBI still has portraits drawn by Little that haven't been identified. Somewhere out there, families are still waiting for answers that only a dead man's sketches can provide.